with those Indian nurses. The process is underway for their return to India. Now, this process didn't happen just like that. It happened because there were an enormous amount of effort that was put in, both within Iraq and outside Iraq. We haven't shared those details with you previously for the simple reason that when there is an operation underway, we can't share those details. Yet, some of you thought this was a hopeless situation. Let me tell you, there are no hopeless situations. There are only people who have grown hopeless about situations. The success that we have had in extricating those 46 Indian nationals makes us redouble our efforts for those who still are in captivity. And I can confirm to you that as of yesterday, we have received confirmed reports of them still being in captivity. As regards those 46 nurses, our estimation is that they will move to Erbil tonight. Even as we speak, an Air India plane has taken off from New Delhi, and we expect it to land late tonight, following which it is expected that the 46 nurses, along with 70 others who have come to Erbil from Kirkuk, will be brought back. The plane will first fly to Kochi and will drop the nurses there. And if there are any who would want, the nearest airport is Delhi, they would come to Delhi. So we will have the first stop from Erbil to Delhi, to Kochi, and following which, if required, to Delhi. A senior Indian diplomat, a joint secretary level officer, is on that plane, and he will ensure the coordination between us and the Kurdish authorities as well as aviation authorities. I'd like to share something with you, and that is to repeat the plea that I made last time. And that is, it's time now for us to turn to each other and not on each other. Friends, please have hope and faith that the government is doing all it can to ensure the return of Indian nationals in extremely difficult circumstances. These are circumstances where conventional tools of diplomacy no longer exist on the ground, because these are conflict areas. So we are working at two levels. There is one level where the External Affairs Minister herself is leading the diplomatic effort, and that is, she is interacting with a host of her counterparts. Some of you have written today that she is in touch with a certain group of counterparts. Let me tell you that the engagements and the interactions of the External Affairs Minister go far beyond what has been written, because for us, we do not want to make public what is our diplomatic effort at the international level. In fact, the number of discussions that she has had, in fact, are perhaps 3 to 4 times what is being written about. At this stage, there are other issues on the ground, and we are unable to share those details with you. We will certainly share with you once the entire picture is clear. At this stage, we have succeeded in extricating 46 of our nationals from the zone of conflict, but there remain several others. And those of you who are following us are aware that there remain a significant number who are still in the zone of conflict. We are working on those. In fact, the resources that now get freed from this effort are now being pushed into that other effort. Let me assure you that we will leave no stone unturned in trying to get back our nationals from an extremely difficult position where, as I said, on the ground, conventional instrumentalities of diplomacy are not available. Yet, we are in contact using very unconventional methods. All I can tell you is have trust, have faith. Ultimately, waiting and hoping is the best that we can do in these that you can do in these circumstances. And my plea to you is, please do not run stories which have no factual basis. This morning, it was extremely disturbing to see a quotation from a person who was in captivity. Obviously, when people are in captivity, they would say a lot of things. But to highlight that and to try and thrash whatever hope is left is hardly the best way of trying to help our nationals. So may I request you again, please do not turn on each other. Let's try and work together. I will answer any questions that you have on any of these aspects. Thank you. Yes, Ashish?
सर, क्या आज आप इस सिचुएशन में हैं कि हमें ये बता सकें कि क्या ये वाकई आईएसआईएस के लोग थे जिन्होंने इनको कब्जे में रखा था हिंदुस्तानियों को, और क्या इनकी कुछ शर्तें भी माननी पड़ी हमें सर इनके रिलीज को सिक्योर करने के लिए?
आशीष, जैसे कि आप जानते हैं और मैंने बताया है कि 46 लोग निकल चुके हैं कब्जे से, लेकिन कई और कब्जे में हैं। तो आप थोड़ा धैर्य रखिए, थोड़ा धीरज रखिए. As I said, please wait and hope with all of us that we will be able to succeed in this endeavor. It's a national endeavor. It's not an individual or a group. So please wait. Once this is over, we are willing to share information like I've shared now with you, that the contacts were not only at the diplomatic level, they were very extensive at the diplomatic level. Some have proved successful. Also, at the ground level, there are contacts underway. So it is a multiplicity of contacts that help in such an endeavor, and be rest assured, all those are underway. India, after all, has friends not only in Iraq, but outside Iraq. Be rest assured that the support that we are getting from within and outside is very substantial. Yes, sir.
सर, जैसे कि आपने जिन लोगों की मदद से ये सब कुछ संभव हो पाया, उन लोगों को आप एक बार फिर मतलब यूज करेंगे ताकि 39 इंडियंस की भी वापसी हो, तो हम कह सकते हैं कि दोनों ग्रुप जो है वो एक ही लोगों ने उनको अपने कब्जे में रखा था? देखिए, बेहतर है कि इस बारे में कुछ देर बाद आप सवाल करें, कौन किसको कब्जे में रखा है आज, ये this is not proper for me to respond. I can tell you they are in captivity. We are aware of the captors. We are engaged on the ground and at a diplomatic level on all these aspects. At this stage, our primary goal is to ensure that they are brought out of captivity. This is a war situation. We do not have, again let me repeat, we do not have the capabilities that ordinarily you would have in a situation where there is no conflict. These are extremely tenuous links that we are building. Anything that we do to undermine them is not going to help us in the long run. So at this stage, as we build those tenuous links and linkages, please be rest assured that every effort is being done. And I will not get into who are the captors, because once this is done, we will reveal all those elements to you, and you will have a clearer picture. Like you had trust in us yesterday, and I'm grateful for those of you who had trust. Please have trust yet again. We are working on this. Yes, ma'am. Anita.
सैयद, सबसे पहले तो बहुत मुबारक देना चाहूँगी आपको कि इतनी बड़ी उपलब्धि आपको मिली, और इस रिलीज से जो 39 लोग हैं उनकी फैमिली को भी बहुत उम्मीदें जागी होंगी। आप बार बार कहते हैं कि हमारे उनके साथ कांटेक्ट है, ये कांटेक्ट आपका ISIS के साथ है या उनसे भी बातचीत होती है टू कंसोल देयर फैमिली?
देखिए, हम जानते हैं कि हाउ वरीड दोज फैमिली मेंबर्स आर बिकॉज they are in regular touch with us, and we understand the circumstances that they are going through. All we can do is to counsel them, to try and work with them, rather than get involved in, at this stage, a public display of where we are. And what little success that we have achieved, we have still a long way to go. We are not satisfied with this outcome, and we will not be satisfied until we reach the culmination of this effort. As I said, we are using now all the tools that will be freed up from the present effort to redouble our efforts on the other effort. And in that, may I request all of you to please join in this collective effort. Please don't turn on us. Let me repeat again. Let us turn to each other. Let us not turn towards on each other. Yes, sir. Sachin?
Would it be possible to reveal exactly when and from whom did the government first get to know that the nurses were going to be released? Since we had beforehand sent officials there to receive them.
Let me tell you, we were always in contact with what was happening. Yesterday evening, even while many of you had said that when they sat in the bus there was contact loss, I indicated to you at that stage that we had got in touch last evening. We remained in touch all through. We have other means to keep in touch other than some of you, the means that some of you are adopting. And it is normal for governments to have other tools at their disposal, and those tools are, as I said, national assets, and all national assets are being used in this endeavor. Yes, sir.
Sir, what were the conditions or demands put forward by these insurgents to release Indian nurses?
When a situation is underway, you would please understand that we are not able to say who said, what was said, where it was said, and how it was said. This is an ongoing situation, a situation where we won a small little battle. However, there is a war still on, and we are engaged in that. So we are not resting on any achievement that have happened, and please understand that anything that we say possibly may impact on other elements, and therefore understand that I will not be able to say who we worked with, what we worked at, how we worked it, and when we worked on that. Yes, Amrita?
Could you give us a sense of whether the nurses, their state of health and being, and also is there going to provide any sort of counseling or that sort of facility to them?
My understanding is that the nurses are all safe, unharmed, unhurt. Obviously, they've gone through a traumatic experience, and therefore it will be our endeavor that once they are in civilian areas, then if there are local facilities to provide to assist them, we will certainly do. We are also making arrangements for their comfort and their well-being, but we expect that this is going to be a short duration, and therefore the best antidote for them is to be with their near and dear, and that's the antidote that we are working on, and we hope the balm of being with their friends and family would be the best solution for their travails. Yes, sir.
Did the NSA had any role in these negotiations?
Pardon?
Did the National Security Advisor
had any role in these negotiations?
I explained to you two things. One is, at the diplomatic level, these negotiations were involving the External Affairs Minister herself. At the ground level, obviously, we will not be able to share, and I had repeated it previously, because diplomacy works through the front door. I had said we are using other doors. And how those doors were used and knocked on, how they were opened up, is a story for another day. The story for today is that one of those doors opened and we were able to extricate our nationals and bring them, hopefully we will bring them back tomorrow. Yes, Anchal?
If it's possible, several engagements with several of the Gulf counterparts. Could you give us the name of a few countries, or at what levels have these been made?
The External Affairs Minister extensively interacted with her counterparts. These, certainly, I am not disputing that she interacted with her counterparts in the Gulf, but what I'd like to say is that this didn't start yesterday. This process has been underway for quite some time. While you have seen the light of this process, or sort of the tip of the iceberg this morning, there has been a lot of groundwork done over the last several days. And the External Affairs Minister did contact those who are identified there, but she has contacted many more. And at this stage, I think, because these contacts are also related to those who are in difficult situations right now, because the difficulties of a major nature for the nurses are perhaps a few much more recent compared to the difficulties that others were facing, and therefore she was initially also working on those areas. At this stage, therefore, I cannot share with you how she is approaching this, how India as a country is approaching this at the diplomatic level. Suffice to say that there is extensive diplomatic contact at a very, very senior level, led by the External Affairs Minister, also at other levels, at a diplomatic level. At the ground level, you would appreciate it's best we don't get into who, where, when, what, and how things are happening. Obviously, you're all very intelligent people and know that things don't happen just like that. And that's the takeaway I'd like you to take from here, that things, when they happen, there is a lot of effort that has gone behind it. There is a lot of